Okay, we are live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching another episode of DarkMatterVerse TV, bringing you another exciting episode of the art department. And I'm your host, James. Tonight, we have the man who put the stallion in the Italian, often duplicated but never quadruplicated. The Roy Jones of this indie game. We got Mr. Tariq. Let him know who you are, man.
What's up, everybody? How's everyone doing? My name is Tariq Holmes. I am an artist and an animator. I've been on this gig for more than 6 years, so I'm just a recent grad from Wholesale, and I'm just proud to be here, man.
All right, man. So you said you're a post grad. Are you in? How long were you in college? Were you going to college for art?
Yes, I've been there since 2016, so that's about 4 years.
Okay, all right. And how long ago did you start doing art? Like, what made you decide to get into comics?
Well, my first, I guess, my origin story with comic books. It's my family, my uncles. They were just comic book geeks. They introduced me into the world of Marvel and DC. Uncles was X-Men, and then the other one was into Superman and DC. So that's where I got introduced into um the comic books, and then from there I started we found the characters that I love, and I just kept on reading reading and trying to get with the characters. So that's where I grew up, and then I didn't start doing comic books until probably middle school, when I officially started wanted to create some comic books.
Okay. And what was your first character? Was it like a superhero character, or because I see that you have on your website a waffle boy? This looks like something a young Tariq would come up to save the day, huh?
Yeah. Actually, my first comic book, and I actually have this book. I had this since I was elementary school. It was Waterman. This is formerly Atlas, the other one that I'm working on. But it was funny how I was so into the comic books that I decided to create my own character in elementary school, and I didn't get serious until middle school when I officially changed it to Atlas. And then Waffle Boy came up later down the line, I believe during college, where me and my younger brother had this idea of what if we created this breakfast themed superhero, and that's when the days kicked in. And so but yeah, I ever since then I kept creating those characters from when I was a kid, and then my brother started falling in love with this, so now we're kind of like into the comic book idea storm, that we're just creating characters after characters and just building up upon this universe that we're building.
Wow. Okay. Oh, great. So your brother's into it. Hold on a second. We're getting some feedback. Just give me 1 second here. Let me see if this is going on. They're saying it's not going up again. Man, we've had so many. Oh yeah, I see the little live button there right there. So I wonder what they're not seeing. So yeah, it does look like we are live. There it goes. I think there's like a delay. So yeah, we
Okay.
often get delays with YouTube, man. YouTube has been giving us a lot of problems with our streaming service. But hey, man, that's awesome that your brother is joining in. Is he there now? Is he really a part of the team? Like, what part does he do?
So he is the co-writer for the TDJ comics. So he's writing Waffle Boy, and I'm writing Atlas.
Oh, okay. All right. But you also do the art as well, right?
Yes.
Okay, and the colors, right?
Yep. The whole package.
Wow, yeah, I think that's why I first noticed that you were just doing some amazing art and colors and stories and just
Mhm.
dropping them, man. How many books do you have out so far? I mean, with someone with your kind of talent, you probably got like a million books out by now.
No, I think right now I managed to get at least 2 or 3 books that's coming up. Like I just finished wrapping up two one books that's already coming out. I think they launched on Kickstarter a couple months ago. So that book they're in the process of getting shipped out and printed. And then there's one I'm working on recently that they need me to help with some colors. So that should be coming out sometime the next coming months. So that's about 2 or 3 books.
Okay. All right, man. That is pretty incredible. Are you all self-taught by this with the colors? Or
I
was
am, yeah.
everything
I
yeah?
I
Because
drew inspiration from the like some of my favorite colorists in the comic book industry, such as um the ones that did Spider-Man. I think was Eduardo, the God. I'm terrible with names, but like some of the like the modern colorists that came in the projects for like for Spider-Man, for DC. I think it was Jorge. Like those are the type of people that I look up to in terms of like bring the page to life. And so because of that, I kind of taught myself how to basically copy their method and then try to incorporate in my style. And yeah, that's how I got through most of my coloring process, just by admiring my favorite people in the industry and then try to replicate it into my work.
wow. So exactly what is your main character do exactly? So in your comics, because I know you had a lot of inspiration from all these guys, they had to come into like one main character. What exactly does he do? What does he look like?
hmm So my main character Atlas is a water-based superhero. He is a so in the story that I'm working on with Atlas, he is one of the four elementals in my universe, where each generation is gifted with these elemental powers, and he is known for water. There's a character for fire. There's a character for earth, and there's a character for air. And so for him in this story, we're just working on or not so much the origin, but basically kind of the coming age of where he's in this Civil War area where he is in searching for his mother. His mother's been missing for a couple months, and in the process, the city is in ruins because this is underground elite team that's just taking over and basically tearing down the walls of the city because they want to take over the reigns. And so he's stuck in that process, and while finding his mother, and now he's got to deal with these underground
Holy,
fighters. And so with him, his powers is mainly water based. In the books, we're going to explore more about how his powers kind of level up, because he terraforms into water, he can transform the things to water. Eventually, we'll get into ice. So it's kind of like a starting phase with his powers, and that eventually builds up upon in the universe where we get into other characters similar like to him. Like we have a fire character, a wind character, and an earth character, and that's going to build up upon.
wow. Holy cow, man. And does all this take place in like Earth, America, or is it a whole different universe that you've built?
Yeah, so this takes place in Earth. I have it set to like probably like another universe, but in a different timeline, kind of like a futuristic area where there's like big skyscrapers, flying cars. So it's a different type of universe. But I have this this universe where I build upon different areas and cultures. So Atlas is one part of the world that we're experiencing, that we're exploring, and then another character within the elementals is going to be in a different part of the area where it could be prehistoric, mythical, like wherever the story leads. But this is a way for me to kind of do this world building upon different cultures and different aspects of the world.
Exactly, exactly. You got to start somewhere. Man, your merch store is off the chain. Holy cow, man. You should be raking in millions, man. You've got because you're an artist and you're able to put it on a t-shirt. Not only is your art beautiful, but also the merch that you have, it really makes it pop, man. How did you get into marketing, or how'd you learn that?
So the t-shirts and design, I always wanted to see my artwork, in different areas like my t-shirts and my things. So I guess as I was building upon the comic universe, it came to my mind, what if I start, implementing into t-shirt design? So I was a graphic designer first before becoming a comic book artist. Because based on my background, I worked with different independent businesses and companies that wanted some graphic design work. So I had that skill set to kind of like put my colors in and put the thing together. And so when I got into the comic book industry, when I got into working on my characters, this was a good time for me to kind of like start working on some merch, some apparel, some some hats, some shirts, try to
Yeah, you
make
got
things
it all.
and trying to make it, presentable so that when people, get behind on the brand, they can also, bring one home and, represent it.
Holy cow, man. And you do websites as well. Like what why don't you ever stop, man? When do you sleep? This is crazy.
Yeah.
And I see you got your YouTube page up there. I saw a couple of like art examples to where you're teaching people art like that, and I think that's excellent to be teaching that. And I was also thinking maybe you could come on and show our viewers a little something, maybe how you can do anatomy or something
Yeah.
like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, man, because you got it all, man. You could do like 8 series on anatomy, color, lettering, and all this type of stuff. So do you do
Yeah.
your lettering as well? Because obviously you do, probably, right?
It's funny too because I think back when I was in high school, I had people ask me, for years saying that how do you can you turn your handwriting into a font or something so I could use it. So it's been a funny, opportunity. But yeah, I've been teaching myself to letter, to color, to draw. I'm pretty much like an all-in-one package, as they say.
Holy cow. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. You too can become great because if this is all taught, man, that's so inspirational. It's crazy. And I can't believe that you do all of this. And when I saw you on the in the forum, like posting all this stuff, I'm like, is this guy doing everything? Like what how do you have so many skills, man? That's crazy. Usually people are happy to just be able to draw, you know what I'm saying, or just color or tell a story. But with you doing it all, you're pretty much like you said, a one-stop shop. Do you have any Kickstarters that you're working on right now?
Yeah, so I did promote I think the last few weeks ago that I'm working on a Kickstarter for Atlas. We're getting ready to launch our very first book under the TDJ Comics brand. That's coming up in the winter. So we're finishing up our story, our book. As of right now, on my tablet, I got the pages as I go in, but we're planning and we're trying to get it accordingly so that we can get it done by in the winter season. So be on the lookout for that.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, and I definitely want to have you on once you do that. So let me see. I got to make sure that this is still streaming. Sometimes whenever we reintroduce the pages, we get bumped off, but we're still recording. So let me see. They said, can you turn up your mic a little bit? Let me see if I can hear your mic a little bit better. I'll turn this like this. Maybe you can hear it a little bit better. But yeah, so besides that, is there anything that you would like to add to the industry or change, like if you had your way? Because you pretty much cover all bases of the industry. So of all the people I've asked, you probably have touched a lot of those areas in the industry that most people haven't. Is there anything that you would change, like which part of the industry?
Anything I would change, I would say for the comic book industry, I guess I should have started probably sooner. Like, because a lot of times as I was starting this journey, it took me a long time to kind of get this process going because I started this comic book since like high school. And by then, I was so, had so much time. I didn't have a lot of time, to finish the book and stuff. So I always put it on the back burner at times. So,
Yeah.
for me, now that I got much more free time, I just if I could just like go back to like a time machine and just go right back and revert back to my my young days, I would say finish that comic book and get that started because it's been a while and I'm just so glad that I finally got the opportunity to actually fulfill that book because many people have been asking me some stories that I'm working on and they say when's it done. So but yes, I would definitely revert back to time and then tell my young self finish that book.
Wow, you're still a young guy, man. So I'm sure you have plenty of time left,
Mhm.
especially the way that you do everything. How long does it take you to finish a page?
So for me to finish a page, I would say talking about like from sketches to pencils and then and colors all the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Like from concept, once you have an idea to get it to this beautiful art that I'm looking at right now. between the colors and the glows and all that type of stuff? How long does it take? Days, months, hours, what?
For me, I would say from start to finish, maybe like 2 weeks. Like I would get the concept for like a couple days, and then once I get the concept of the page, and then I'll spend one day to do the line art, then the next day to get the colors in and render it out. So probably within a week or two.
Wow. Okay. That's nice. And I noticed that you have like prints for sale on your website as well.
Mhm.
So if you guys are looking at the beautiful art that I'm looking at, I know you guys are rushing to a site and picking up a bunch of these prints, man. You guys better be, man. This stuff is amazing. So what exactly would you tell people that are trying to get to where you are? Like young guys, we get a lot of, since this is an indie show, we have a
Mhm.
lot of people who are just starting out, just trying to find some information. And you're pretty much top notch, man. What advice would you give somebody trying to break in, or maybe they're not having as good as luck learning as you are?
hmm So some advice I would give to some of y'all who's starting up, or at least in that art block phase, that's trying to get the ideas flowing. From my experience, a lot of times for me, I have to believe in myself that I can do a lot of these things, because it's funny because especially with social media, we always tend to, we have a lot of people we admire, a lot of artists we admire, but a lot of times we always tend to, basically, look over one another, and then, essentially, judge upon, like, is mine, mine can't be as good as that, or, so forth. And we always try to compete, against one another, saying, it won't be good. For those of you who are in that phase, believe in yourself. Don't worry about if your art is any better than that person, or you can get as good as that person. Believe in yourself and try to, do what you love, because like I said, I've been in that experience where when I was starting drawing, and I tried to get that experience, I was trying to, follow along with my Myers, and, seeing that, I wasn't as good as that artist, and so forth. And then sometimes I would just be in that art block where, should I really do anything art? Like, is my art any good? We don't have that mindset. So believe in what you do, and then always strive for more. There's always room for improvement. And so that's my advice to all you youngsters. Believe in yourself and learn to improve.
And that is some inspirational words from an inspirational man right there. Jesus Christ. Captain America couldn't have said it better than that, man. So what do you think is what is the hardest part in the industry? Like, what are some of the pitfalls that people are going to be running into?
I would say for me, the hardest part for me in this industry is, I guess, finding your audience, like especially when you're on the social media and you're trying to find the people you look up, especially when you're trying to do everything by yourself. That's another challenge, another story. But I think,
Yeah, yeah.
once you start, putting your art out there, and you start, grow as an artist, and as a as a, I guess, an influencer, or whatever the case may be, eventually when you start networking with other people, and you start learning these skill sets of how to grow as a brand and as a performance, then it starts to get better. But for me, as like I said, when I started out, I didn't have that marketing experience. I didn't have that mindset, and I was kind of bogged down by, competing with, some of my artists, and trying to think, why is mine not better than anybody else, or why not getting the same feedback? But with that being said, those two things, doing things by yourself, and then trying to find your your niche, your community around your art. But you don't want to, let that discourage you from creating what you love.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. And yeah, you create a lot, man. You've got like thousands and thousands. I spend a lot of time on your Instagram. Also, don't think I'm a stalker or anything, but you also got like 3D stuff, because we were working on our 3D, and I was like, man,
Yes.
this guy even has some 3D stuff. What are you doing? Like, is that Maya or ZBrush, or what program is that?
So I work with Maya, ZBrush, Substance Painter, and I think a little bit of Blender. I'm kind of new to Blender. The only reason I knew Blender is because back on my prior work experience, I used to work with a studio, and they were working with Unreal and Maya, and I think one of the lighting department company, they were working with Blender. So that's how I got introduced to using Blender. But those are the main three programs that I use.
Okay. All right. And are you open for commissions for anybody out there who may be looking for commissions, or are you working on a project right now?
Yes, I just announced this week that starting next week, we're coming in September. I'm open. I
Okay.
have nothing else to do except for working on my comic book. So while I need support for my comic book, I'm open for work. I'm open for any type of work. So if you guys are willing to work with me and any commissions, any comic book projects, I'm happy to oblige and to work with y'all.
All right, guys, you heard it. Industry Standard is open for commissions. We have top-notch art, a top-notch artist. He's ready to bring your Kickstarter to life. So if you guys are looking for a team member or someone who can deliver way above Marvel, way above DC standards, because what they've been pumping out lately hasn't been as great as what I'm looking at right now. This guy's open for commission and he's ready to work. He's a hard worker and a great guy. So is there anything that you want to tell your fans out there, all the guys that are listening, anything you want to put out there, let them know where they can find you, any events that are coming up or anything like this?
First, I just want to say to all those that have been with me since day one, thank you guys so much for your love and your support. And thank you guys so much for your collabs. Like, I've been collaborating with so many people. A lot of the people that I've been following under, they also follow me as well. So, like some of the people that I've been with and working with, they've just been a huge success. So I thank you guys once again for your love and your support. And where you can find me, guys, I'm pretty much everywhere. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Just follow me under the same username, Art of TDJ. And I also have a website as well, as you can see. So, guys, I appreciate you guys for your love, your support. So, yeah.
There you go, man. He's speechless for his fans out there, man. Give this guy some love. And holler at him if you need him. Give him the respect that he deserves. And he's here. He's an independent creator. We love to have you on again. Once you do launch that Kickstarter, keep us in the loop when you become famous. Don't forget about us.
Yes, sir.
And that has pretty much been another episode of the Art Department. I'm your host, James. And I guess I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for coming out, my friend.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it.
All right. See you guys next time.